Hello everyone and welcome back to Y2K. My name is Blake. It's a winter day in Florida. It's windy, but the water is nice. There's a little sailboat over there that I like. But today I want to talk about the 348 and why I think it's, to me, better than the 355. So let's get in here and take it for a drive. Notice this big sill here. It makes it a little bit difficult to get in and out unless you have a lot of room to get these doors open. Double seat belt. This is a little thicker than factory because somebody did a stereo job, so you can't have the door closed and put the seat belt on down there at the same time. Little quirks. Do have two keys though. Let's make sure the stereo's not on whenever we crank this up. Probably will be. Let's see. Alright, it's off. Okay. E-brake down. First gear. The transmission is cold-ish. The oil temp is cold. We do have some heat in the coolant. Boat ramps over there. I like to try and make videos over there, but it's tough to do because the one time I want to make one, somebody wants to come launch their boat at the same time. This is a nice little kind of park area. What we were just in was a overflow parking for the boat ramp, but it's nice and peaceful and pretty. Okay, underway. Gonna make it through the neighborhood as always. There's a beautiful view once again, and then we will head out onto the highway. But let's start off with my number one reason for why I like the 348 over the 355, and that's the styling. It's got the side vents like a Testarossa, which to me is awesome. I don't know why you wouldn't want that on your car. And it kind of combines elements I like about a 355 with elements I like about a Testarossa. So to me, it's like a sandwich of a 355 and a TR, which to me is kind of the best of both worlds. I like the 5-spoke wheels. They're kind of chunky-ish. And I just like the overall design. It looks more, I guess, 80s than 90s, which would make sense because I believe this car came out in 89. This is actually a 94 Spider. There's the only turn in Florida once again. And they only made about 1,200 of these. It's a little bit wider, about 50 millimeters wider than a standard 348. It's got I think a little bit higher compression, shorter gearing, and a freer flowing exhaust, which I'm getting ready to switch that out to a new Ferrari with no cats, so it's going to sound even better than it, but right now it's pretty quiet. So they only made, I think, about 1,200 of the Spiders, at least in America. I think they were actually only in America. This in the Special. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But this is essentially a drop top Special with a manual top, which is another point to the 348 because the 355, as we all know, has a very problematic power top. And that kind of moves me on to the second reason why I like 348s better than 355s, and that is the maintenance. 355s got a lot of valve train issues. I think it was with the valve guides, but I'm not exactly positive. I know it was valve train. It's got 5 valves per cylinder, which makes it sound amazing and make a lot of power, but at the same time, it also makes it, unreliable with all the technology they put into that motor at the time, just based on what I've heard and what I've read. If I'm incorrect in any of this, feel free to put it down in the comments below, which I'm sure you will anyways. But yeah, valve train issues. The belts is an engine out on both cars, so that's probably about the same, but and also the top on the 355, that power top, it's, for a convertible car, which is what mine is, a Spider, it's pretty problematic, and I think you end up having to get the actuators and all that redone on them every so often. Plus, I'm sure a number of other things 355s have. It seems like everyone I see that buys one, it ends up in the shop for a while. And God bless you if you have the F1 transmission, because, you know, I'm sure those have a host of issues, and most people convert them to manual, and rightfully so, which the 348 only came in manual. It's a 5-speed, it's not a 6-speed, it does have a dogleg first gear. It's more early 90s technology, which, you know, it's kind of more simple, and I like that. It's just like the Diablo. It's actually got the same seat belts as the Diablo as well. Speed bump, red match to second. So yeah, the styling, I just think it looks kind of more 80s, more Ferrari to me. It's got the classic wedge design, which I love, and the 355 has as well, but it doesn't have kind of the more squared off look of the shape, overall shape of the car, and it doesn't have those Testarossa side vents on it. All right, we're gonna pull off. Oh, James Bond Z3, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was the same color in Goldeneye. And we're gonna actually be able to get it up to speed a little bit here. We'll talk about the other thing I like about this more than the 355. All right, we got some temperature. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll roll these up all the way. It's a beautiful day at the sandbar. This is about 315 horsepower. It moves out pretty good. It's probably slightly faster than the Acura RSX Type S I had in high school, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually a little slower. It's hard to say. Pretty even specs, I think, as far as acceleration, once mine was modded with all the stuff I did, on data, etc. But here we are on the open road, and a little bit higher speed limit, so hopefully you enjoyed that acceleration run. But getting back to the third reason why I like the 348 better than the 355, and that's the price. These are a lot more affordable and a lot more reliable than 355s. So it's a really hard thing to ignore. You know, you could probably get a Spider for like 70 to 80 that's in good shape. If you get a 355, it's going to be at least 100 to 120, depending on color and mileage, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you want a coupe, 355, you know, what, a GTB is probably like a Euro car, maybe 140, 150. Then you got US cars, maybe 200, maybe a little more, a little less, I don't know. I haven't tracked it perfectly lately. And then the GTSs, you know, those could be 250 to 300. That seems to be the most desirable variant. And the 348, you know, a coupe is probably, I don't know, like 80, 90, maybe early, like low 100s for a really good one. And then when it comes to, they made 100 specials of this 348. Some of them had the factory Kevlar seats, which were like the F40. They weren't exactly F40 seats, which everybody likes to say. They were like the F40 seats. They were wrapped in leather. The F40, I believe, was like a red suede. But they were very similar, and I actually had a number 67 of 100 Special GTS that I bought and sold, sadly, and that car did have the Kevlar seats, which was cool, but getting it out of them is a pain, but that's kind of any bucket seat that you have. So, drop into fourth a little bit. Sounds good. Very good. Better soon, once the cats come off. So yeah, the affordability, I mean, it's hard to ignore. And you're getting, I think, 90% of a 355 for a lot less money, but it's more reliable. You can drive it, you know, whenever you pretty much choose. It's going to have its little electrical gremlins like any other Ferrari and the sticky buttons, but overall, these are pretty good cars. I rebuilt the alternator. It was like $90. We did the clutch, which is really easy to do. It's right off the back of the car. We did that in like a couple hours, changed the triple seals out, and we just did it right in the driveway. The 355 might be like that, I'm not sure, but this car, it was really simple. So yeah, there's just a lot of things to like about the 348. I'm gonna say they're undervalued, of course, because I think they are. I think they kind of were the bastard child for a while. This and the Mondial, but this to me looks a million times better than the Mondial. I do like a Mondial convertible because of Sin of a Woman. It was featured in that movie with Al Pacino. It's a great show if you haven't watched it yet. But so yeah, those are my reasons. Looks better, easier to maintain, more reliable, and a lot more affordable. And as time goes on, you know, the looks of this, since I think, you know, personally, I think it looks more nostalgic to me, you know, of the late 80s, early 90s, which is my kind of favorite time. 355 is kind of more smoothed out. You know, maybe it will become more appreciated, the 355 over time, just because of the Testarossa side vents and everything, and it's the only kind of other Ferrari I can think of that got the doors. So it looks more Vice, I guess, the Vice era, Miami Vice to me. So maybe over time that'll prove to make it more sought after. Maybe not. I still think that the 355 sounds better, but you can get close, and we're about to see how close soon. Also, one more thing that makes the 348 more special to me than the 355 is the fact that it was the last Ferrari ever overseen by Enzo. Not the F40, but actually the 348. And you can feel free to fact check me on that on Google or whatever other search engine you want to use. I tried to do this while I was driving, and unfortunately it didn't come through. So I wanted to put it in here now because I do feel it's very important to the 348 story. So hope you enjoyed this little video. It's nothing too crazy, just a quick drive, but you know, I wanted to share my thoughts with you on 348s, why I think they're great, and why, if you've been looking for a Ferrari, it would be a great first Ferrari for you, I think, honestly. So hope you enjoyed watching, and we're going over a bridge now. It's under construction. Got hit by a ship not long ago. I hope you enjoyed watching. Subscribe, like, all that stuff, and I'll try and make another video next week. Maybe we'll compare the 348 to my Diablo, the pros and cons. All right, talk to you later, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.